What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ. Now, if you guys already watched the last video, you've already got some information on the Camaro and what we're gonna have to do to get this thing straight. But today we're gonna go ahead and start the breakdown. You can see I've already got it torn apart back there right now. But we're gonna dive in depth, look underneath it, and see what's gonna need to be replaced. That way we can go ahead and get all the parts we need on order. But we'll make it short and dive right in. And I have no clue how I lost traction. Just doesn't make any sense how I didn't have any traction. I have no clue why it didn't grip up. It's almost like I didn't know how to drive. Drive on banana peels. Golly. So to give you guys a look and see what we're doing, this is the driver's side over here. You can see the control arms. These are not bent, and nothing on this side seems to be broken. Axle shaft, everything, even the boot still looks perfect. And then this is the passenger side. So you guys can see here the actual angle of the hub assembly. Now I did unbolt this already, but aside from that, this is exactly the way that it was. So the actual upper control arm snapped. This one's completely twisted, warped. The lower is completely mangled as well. And then you can see once you go inside here, you can see that it's actually the axle shaft, the boot itself is mangled and twisted. And it looks like the angle of the axle obviously is off really bad as well. And then once you go down here, you're gonna see the lower, I don't even know what that's called on these independent suspension, but the lower A-arm itself, I would assume is what it's called, is just completely mangled as well. Now, I did already do a little bit of a test to see what was moving, what wasn't moving. And you can see the drive shaft where it connects to the differential right there. Everything moves all the way to the drive shaft, and then the power goes into the differential and nothing spins. So what I assume is on the inside of that differential there, this one is limited slip. But what I'm assuming is the axle shaft itself broke off in the differential as well. So we'll have to dive into that and see. So the original game plan, or the initial game plan, is going to be to hang the caliper, disconnect everything from the caliper, hang it first, and disassemble this entire passenger side and see what can be replaced or what can be reused. It seems like the actual suspension components themselves should be okay. If not, it's no big deal, we'll just get some more. But I would like to see what we can keep, hopefully the hub assemblies, stuff like that. Doubt we'll be able to use the axles. And obviously all the actual components here just too mangled to reuse. And then to go beyond that point, as you guys know, the inside is pretty well destroyed too. Got the curtain airbags tucked right there. The curtain airbags went off on the inside. They're about $500 a piece, so nothing too crazy. And then for the seat here, I tucked it back in, but for the seat itself, we're probably just going to replace the seats and put the racing seats inside of it. I think that should be the best bet. But in terms of running, I mean, it still runs really well. Nothing is leaking, which is good. But the interior should be really, really easy. And then the airbag control module is actually right here under this. We'll send off the airbag control module, get it reprogrammed, and then we should be good to go on that. This thing's really not a bad looking car. I mean, I know it's the cheap wheels and stuff, so that's not the best, and all they did was just paint them. We need new tires, we need new wheels, which that's a given. But at least it seems like since we've got it all apart here, the driver's side components should be good to go. I mean, it looks like we should be able to reuse everything on the driver's side. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but that's how it's looking for now. And still yet, the differential itself isn't leaking anything, but obviously something's messed up inside if it's letting me put the power out. And you can see there the actual connection point for the drive shaft and the differential, the yoke right there. And I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. I don't really know what I'm getting myself into here. I've worked with a lot of Camaros in the past, but really just tunes, normal bolt-ons, stuff like that. A lot of Jeeps I've messed with the drivetrain, so I figured it should be an easy transition. And I really just got introduced to independent rear suspension, actually working on the suspension side of it and the suspension components and the drivetrain components on the side-by-side. If it doesn't have a solid axle, I'm not 100% sure what to do, but it all seems really simple. It's laid out easy. And the best part about it, guys, I am 10 years certified YouTube mechanic. So, I mean, what could go wrong? And just getting this thing in here was a nightmare. I got the tow truck to drop it off where the RV parking spot would be, where I just put the trailer. So I had to pull it out. So I attached a chain to the Jeep and literally pulled it. You can see a mark on my driveway now all the way across. And then once I got it centered for the second bay for the garage, I had to push it all the way back in here about 30 yards. So the only solution I could come up with was to ratchet strap that tire to the front of my Jeep and throw a blanket over it and just push it in. So it worked. I mean, it's in here and it didn't mess anything up too bad. So I did that. But honestly, my first solution was I backed the Can-Am up in here and attached the winch. Bad decision, but it worked. I attached the winch to the hook on the inside here for the actual trunk. And I've pulled some cars out like that in the snow before. So I know it's a strong hook, but it bended a little bit. So I got the sand mallet out and just beat it back and it's perfectly fine now. So no big deal. And here's a good look for you guys to see the difference here underneath. What it's supposed to look like with the cover, and this is the driver's side. What it's not supposed to look like. Just absolutely mangled. Blows my mind. But actually, I have a question for you guys, if anyone knows. The axles. The axles on these Camaros, right? So this is the passenger side. And it looks like it has no cover. And this is the driver's side. A lot thicker. Or maybe it just has a cover. But regardless, somebody tell me, let me know. So we've got a lot of the disassembly done. You can see the crumpled control arm, the crumpled, I guess that's the A-arm for this. I don't have a big enough socket for the axle knuckle with me right now, so I'm gonna have to pick one of those up. So with that being said, obviously some of the other control arms I'm not able to get to because I need to get my impact in there where the axle's at. And then aside from that, we got all the lower control arms out though. It's just the uppers that are left in the way because of that. But everything under here is open. And then the last issue I did run into, you guys will see, it's just the socket I'm gonna need for these. It's one of those GM specials, And I honestly just don't have one. I tried a couple different things, but I'm just gonna have to break down and get the part. I did try to use this. I had one, I guess from a thing in the past, but 3/8 was just a hair too big, so I guess we'll go back and get a different size and get the whole kit maybe. But after looking underneath it, it looks like the subframe structure itself is actually okay. So you'll see here, the only thing that I might have the smallest amount of concern with is this bracket right there. But if we get adjustable control arms, it wouldn't even matter. And then this one down here is a little bent, but we can bend it back. It's really thin metal there. And there's a good look at the boot. And the axle is definitely broke. Yeah, so the axle snapped right there. So we should be able to take this off, look at the internals, make sure everything's still good to go. And if everything is, we will continue to proceed. If not, we might have to get a new differential as well. But I do not know yet. But anyway, it's about 12 o'clock here, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. I just wanted to show you what is messed up with it that we know for sure. But until next time, take it easy.